What's up, everybody? This is Biggie Sean, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to my weight loss journey. I have been struggling with weight probably ever since I was around 10 years old. The reason why I say that is because you're going to see, when I was a little kid, I was scrawny. I mean, you could see my ribs. I was an extremely picky eater. I mean, to the point where my grandmother, when she would make me chicken noodle soup, I would have her strain the noodles and the chicken and just drink the broth. Have my mom, she would cut the skin off of hot dogs. The skin off of hot dogs. Things started to change when around 10 or 11. I hit a growth spurt, and I hit it in such a dramatic fashion. So bad to where I had to wear spacers in the heels of my shoe because my body was growing at such a rapid rate that it was growing faster than my feet. So that automatically negated any kind of physical activity. Because when I was a kid, I was really active. I was playing street hockey. I mean, with football pads, and I was running around, climbing trees. I was doing everything that a normal kid that age does, I think. And then by the time I was 12, I was 6 foot and weighed 200 pounds. The reason why I know that is because I had to go to the doctor for my back, and I went through CAT scans and bone scans and all this other crap, and found out that I have a deteriorating disc in my lower back. Now, when you hear this when you're 12, I mean, it's shocking. I literally started to cry. It was scary, you know. The doctor said, basically, in a nutshell, you're either going to live on painkillers for the rest of your life, or you can have surgery. Once I got to that point, it was just it's downhill. I felt like the taller I got, the wider that I got. By the time I reached high school, I was between 6'3" and 6'4" and weighed 300 pounds. My frame helped me a little bit because I'm 6'5". But then after high school, it got a little tricky. When I graduated high school, I was probably around 350. But then came life problems, just stupid crap that makes you depressed and upset. I think the biggest turn for me was I moved out of my parents' house. I had to move back. I just got out of a relationship of 3 years. Just all this stuff was starting to crash down on me, and I picked up drinking. That was my vice. I would get off of work at 9 o'clock every night. I'd zip over to the liquor store. I'd pick up an 18-pack and a bottle of Jack. And I just sit there and I get plastered. Now, when you start doing that year after year, I think probably a good 2-3 years, maybe not 4, but it very well could have been 4 years of doing that every single day. It took a toll, and I went to the doctors. God, I can't remember why I went to the doctor. But I went to the doctors, and I got on the scale. And in my head, I'm like 350, maybe 365. I'm good. No harm, no foul. And it said 434 pounds. My jaw dropped. I didn't know what the hell to do. It was scary. It was shocking, and it was depressing, if anything else. And for the next 2 months after that, I just kept doing what I was doing, drinking every day. Eating poorly, because when I would drink every day, I was too drunk to go out. So I would just buy pizza and fries and have them deliver it to the house, and everything would be hunky-dory. I didn't do anything. Then one day, I rolled out of bed, huffing and puffing, because I mean, going upstairs was a problem. Rolling around in my bed without getting winded was a problem. Just simple everyday things was becoming a real hassle because, again, my back, my knees, my ankles, everything was just like deteriorating, and it was hurting to just exist. To just exist in life was painful. I got up one day and I sat on the foot of the bed and I just looked down. Now I say that is because when I looked down at the time, and I'm still dealing with this a little bit, but at the time I was really retaining fluid in my left leg. To the point where my calf is like this, but it's literally going, that round is going all the way down to the bottom of my foot. Like my entire, you couldn't even tell I had an ankle. It just looked like I had just a giant leg. And I'm looking down at that and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell have you done? Like, what are you doing? Like, that was pretty much like my boiling point. Just, you know, you're larger than life. You can barely move without being in pain or being winded or tired. And now you're really starting, besides like the big gut and the man boobs and all that jazz, but now you're really starting to see like significant physical changes to your body that aren't supposed to be there. I got up, went to the bathroom, and I'm just staring into the mirror. And I said to myself, now what can I do right now, looking at myself, to really make me see how this is a problem? As pervy and stupid as it sounds, I did this. How can I make this sound PG? So I grabbed the sink, right? Grabbed the sink to the bathroom, and I kind of moved my hips in a way where it looked like, God, how do you want to put that? Doing the horizontal line dance, or the midnight tango. I did that in the mirror to just get a visual of what it looked like for a woman to see that. And honestly, I kind of wanted to call all my ex-girlfriends and apologize just for them having to witness that. I never did call any of them, but I really, well, I'm sorry. It started with simple things. I cut out all the junk food. I literally stopped drinking for 5 months, at least a solid 5 months. I might have been going towards 6, but I stopped. I started intaking a lot of water, and I literally just started eating clean. Just chicken, fish, vegetables, fruit. I mean, in large quantities too, because my stomach was still, and to this day, is still pretty expanded out. I was eating probably like 85-90% clean, right? And then after doing that for about a month, I dropped like 25 pounds, no, like 20 pounds in like a month. And I was ecstatic. I was almost 400 flat. After that, then I started incorporating little things, like I started to walk. Now, being 400 pounds, walking still, still losing almost 30 pounds is amazing, but just tacking that off and you're still a 400 pound thing, moving is still a challenge. So I would walk for like 10-15 minutes, and that was really the most I could do. After that, I went from 10 to 15, boosted up to 20 to 25. I'm walking, and I did a lap of what I normally do, and I found out it's like about 15 minutes, so I decided to take a second lap, and I might do a third. I'm not too sure yet, but yep, lap 2, day 60, lost 35 pounds. So on and so forth, to the point where I was actually walking an hour a day. Now this was ridiculous from where you want to talk about like such a boost of of confidence and just like self-worth. It was amazing. Once I got that down, then I started incorporating like workouts I would find on YouTube, or I bought some weights and I was doing some exercises here at the house. And then it got to the point where I was doing an hour a day plus lifting weights in the house. And I'm not saying crazy stuff like dumbbells, like arms, maybe a little bit of chest, you know, nothing crazy. And like the workouts I would find on YouTube were like kickboxing workouts, and they would destroy me because they're trying to make you drill your knee up into the air and like throw elbows and do all kinds of crazy mess, and it was definitely making me break a sweat. Then some time went by, and I fast forward, I get down to 340 pounds. 340 pounds, boom, I felt so accomplished, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break. And I ended up packing on like almost 20 pounds, and I said to myself, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. So I'm back on the grind, but I got back on the grind with not so much physical activity, because when I was doing the physical activity, I was intaking so much more food. But now I just calorie count and just slowly losing the weight. Got down to 326 pounds. Guys, that's it. I really hope that you found this video somewhat enjoyable, somewhat motivating, and just all around good vibes. Just good vibes, that's all I care about. If you guys like this video, smash that like button. If you want to follow more what I'm doing, go ahead and hit that subscribe. If you have any questions on exactly like what I was eating, how I was doing, time frames, anything like that, please leave a comment down below. And if you find video games to tickle your fancy, that's really what this channel is all about. I will have links in the description for some of the games that I have going on now, some of the Let's Plays I've been doing. I'm BiggySean77, and I'll be seeing you guys later.